for our first YouTube video, we're going to be answering your questions from Instagram.
From Sonakshi Khosla, the question is, how did you two meet and what drove you to start this page?
So that is such a good question because it asks two things. And the how did you meet question is one that we actually got a lot of.
Yeah, actually quite a few.
So how we met was at a supplement store.
It was. And
I had actually known of him because we went to the same gym.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had a total fangirl crush, but I never would have approached him in the gym. That was just not like
who you were.
Yeah, not me to be like go up to someone.
You're in the zone. So
yeah. So when I saw him in the supplement store, I just casually was like, oh, like we made eye contact. And I'm just like, oh, you gotta.
Yeah, we were the only two people. We were the only two people in there. So.
Yeah. So it was a quick not a quick conversation, but we started the conversation quickly.
Yeah. We were probably in the store for like an hour just talking. And after we were done, I let her check out first and she left and I knew the owner. So the second she walked out of the door, the owner turned to me and he was like, "She loves you, bro." I was like, "I know."
But you loved me too. Love at first sight.
I did.
Yeah, and it was really kind of just...
Yeah. It was
full speed ahead from there.
It was, yeah. We probably exchanged I love yous in 6 days. So, and
yeah, I think
here we are 5+ years later. So
yeah. But the second part of that question is what drove us to do this channel.
Right. So I noticed a lot of board game TikTokers because for those who don't know, we started on TikTok and Instagram, and we primarily started on TikTok, but I noticed a lot of board game pages, but not a lot, or none rather, that were focused on just 2 players. Because that was a problem that we had. We really started gaming together early. Our first week we were playing Uno and Monopoly and stuff like that. And we found that we were always in Target and Walmart looking at board games. And every game said 3+ players or something like that. And we were always looking for games that said 2+ players. So we ended up amassing kind of a collection of 2-player games and just wanted to share them with everybody else who had the same problem. Hey, I only have one person to game with. So it's a more common occurrence, I think, that we noticed needed us.
Yeah, so, and I think since then, we've kind of expanded and tried out, more than 2-player games.
Yeah.
But even if we do that, we always feature games that we can modify.
We do modify.
To play with 2 players. So a lot of games that say, 3+ players or something, we'll still play in our own little variation. Yeah. So it really was, I think you said it perfectly, just kind of something that we had been doing and accruing since we met, and
just wanted to share with everybody else.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a lot of you that love the idea. So we're happy we can help everybody find great 2-player games.
Yep. So Morgan _H426 asked, how long have you been married? And this was another super common question that we got.
Yeah.
So we have been married for
3.5 years.
Together for just over 5.
Yeah. So we actually, it's kind of a crazy story.
It is.
So we actually got married in February of 2020.
Yep.
Now...
2/28/20.
Yeah. So we were actually originally planned to get married in November of 2020. Now, in March of 2020, the whole world shut down. There was no reason aside from love that we decided to push our wedding up. And obviously we didn't know COVID was coming, but thank God we did, because I think we squeaked in the very last COVID, pre-COVID wedding and honeymoon all in one shot. We came back from our honeymoon and 2 weeks later the world was shut down. So if we kept that November wedding date that we originally picked, I don't know.
We wouldn't have had our dream wedding. But there was actually a little extra blip to that story. We were looking at his grandparents, some of his grandparents' pictures, and his grandparents actually got married in February. And so this was a few months before February. I was like, oh, you know what? February is such a nice wedding month. I want to get married in February. I want to have a snowy wedding. I want to wear sleeves.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we don't want to wait anyway. Yeah. So let's move it up. And it was the greatest blessing ever.
And we got snow. A little bit during dinner.
A little bit of snow during dinner, yeah. So it was perfect.
It was.
We got home from our honeymoon, March 5th. A few days later, quarantine newlyweds.
Yeah. We were living together after like 2 months already, though. So it wasn't new to us. Like, we were already together every single day. This just made it, I don't know, kind of a little bit better.
Yeah, it was actually
it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. We made the best of it.
Yeah.
I think that's when we really started playing more and more games.
Yeah.
So
we started TikTok in July of 2021. Mm-hmm. So it was like into COVID, but
yeah.
It's crazy. It's been 2 years, just about.
Yeah, really crazy.
So, we moved pretty quick. We moved in together in about 2 months. We were engaged in like 8 months and married like just under 2 years. So,
you know what I just realized?
What?
Moved in 2 months, engaged in 8 months, 28.
Oh. Yeah, we're about numbers. We like numbers.
We like numbers.
Yeah. Okay, so getting into some game stuff. Laura Love asked, what was the first game you two played together? So it's not a super complicated one. The first game that we ever played was good old Uno. So not even really a board game. It was a card game.
Yeah.
If we're going with board games, I think the first board game we played was Monopoly.
Yep.
The Office edition, because we love The Office. Yeah, I mean, we really liked Uno. I think we've probably played like upwards of like 500 games of Uno or something, maybe more.
Yeah, I think probably more.
Yeah.
We started out really just like with the classics, the things that you grow up with, the things that if you're asked to like name 3 board games quick are probably like some of the first ones that pop in your mind.
Definitely. We started getting games like from like Target, Walmart.
Yeah.
Like we honestly didn't know about all these games and all these publishers until we started doing content.
Right.
We started getting reached out and we're like, whoa, there's a lot of companies and a lot of games out there that we had no idea about.
Yeah, it was a world that we kind of discovered as we went. We didn't come into this as professionals.
No.
We came into it as a couple who love board games and really did it for the passion of just, we've always thought it's the best way to spend time together.
Yeah.
One of the best ways to spend time together.
Definitely.
And we kind of learned, we're still learning as we go.
We are, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris asks, what would be a good game to get my girlfriend into? She loves Monopoly, but that's all she wants to play.
I can answer that. So I love Monopoly too. I feel like Monopoly gets some hate.
It definitely does.
It really does, but I don't know. It's just such a classic. I love it.
Yeah.
But because of that, I think I have like an idea of like maybe what she likes to play. And really for anyone watching, a great game that I always recommend, it's not like Monopoly, but it's just such a good game to get into board games. We got our neighbors into it. They play it all the time. Is Wingspan. We really love that game. So it's different in the sense that you have like your own like you have your own player board. You're not playing on a communal board.
Yeah, you're not like stealing birds or doing like any malicious things. It's pretty much a play your own objective based game, but it's a really good one and the theme is really good. Like the art is great.
Especially if you're a nature lover or an animal lover of any sort.
Yeah.
You'll definitely love Wingspan.
A game that's more like Monopoly, though, is a new game that just came out. It was actually printed back in the 90s, but only in German. So this is the first time it's been available at the US. And it's called Big Boss. And it's from Funko, but it's basically like you're controlling like different companies and you're actually going to be building these little buildings on the board and like there's like mergers and stocks and like it's very like money oriented like Monopoly, but it's different enough to where I think it won't just be like, oh, we're playing Monopoly again.
Yeah, it definitely is different. It is not the same as Monopoly.
Yeah.
Similar vibe in terms of like
buying properties and stuff like that. But
capitalism.
Yeah.
But it's totally different, so that's a good one too.
Yeah.
So Lehigh Sanchez asks, what are you currently reading? And this is a cool question because I am actually an English teacher.
Yeah.
So I am always reading a book, and you are too. I'm currently reading The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Loving it.
Yep.
What are you reading?
Currently, I'm reading The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. But normally, I'm branching into classics, but normally like thriller, horror is like my genre. Mm-hmm. So I typically like to stick to that kind of stuff, but I'm branching out. And
we're always reading rule books, so.
Yeah, we are always reading rule books, yes. Okay, Ernesto Davis asks, what are some fast, quick games? So there are definitely a lot of fast, quick games, but you really can't go wrong with anything that's made by Gigamic. So there's Corridor, there's Koale, there's Quarto, there's Squadro, there's Quantic. They're all wooden, like, abstract games, and they can probably be played, like, some of them 5 minutes, some of them, like, 15. But, like, really not much more than that. And they're really well made. They're really fun. They're easy to teach, easy to play. But they're definitely on the quicker side.
Yeah, and somewhere in there, we also had a question about toddler-proof games. So if you mean, like, a game that if your toddler gets a hold of it, they won't break, these games are definitely sturdy enough to be toddler-proof. Definitely. Not toddler-playable, but toddler-proof.
Yeah. Goblet and Goblet Gobblers are both really quick games, too. They're like a tic-tac-toe, Connect 4 type game, but they could be played in, like 10 minutes. All right, I might get this wrong, but Lair Aranella asks, do you have extra rooms for the games? Greetings from Austria.
Oh, that's so cool.
Greetings from here. We do have an extra room for the games. I feel like we're always filtering games. Like
we have more than one extra room. There are games everywhere.
There is, yeah. So we have like probably three rooms in our basement, and like an entire room is filled with games. We have like a spare bedroom that's filled with games. There's even stuff behind the camera that's filled with games, and we're always like transferring. Like if we're like, oh, this will look good there, like we'll take this one out, bring it downstairs, and then put another one there, and we're always filtering games. And
this room is like our game room / dining room. So this table, if we have guests over, gets moved. And we'll eat and play games. So we have, I think, a few games somewhere tucked under our coffee table in our living room.
Yeah, we do.
We are running out of space.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I don't even know. I would like to count, but I would probably say like 400 or 500, maybe
more.
I don't know.
I think more. I think maybe 400 or 500 up here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, yeah.
So Lexi asks, did you guys like games as much before you've met? So I think by nature, we're both very competitive people.
Yeah.
Always played games, maybe like you growing up with your grandparents. I always played games growing up with my grandparents.
Always played sports too.
Yeah, so it wasn't something unfamiliar to us. However, I do like playing games now with you more than anything else or any other time. It's just become such a huge part of who we are and what we do. Yeah. I suffer from anxiety. If I'm ever feeling a little off, it's such a great way for us to just like connect and bring me down to earth. If you're ever having a bad day, I feel like we come back here, play a game, and we're happy. So
and we're both into video games too, actually. So there's a lot of gaming outlets for us. It's just such a good escape. It's so good to. And we love, like, playing games together. Like,
we do.
We love playing Street Fighter. We love, like, It Takes Two and A Way Out. A lot of those co-op. We like Mario. Like, a lot of those games we could play together. But, we definitely both grew up with games. But our gaming has definitely blossomed since playing together.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so Preposterous Life asks, how many cats do you have, and how do you manage playing without them sitting on the board / cards? Well, we don't manage. They do. All the time.
There's no stopping it. We have 5 cats.
We have 5.
So there is at least, I mean, I see 1. Yeah. There is at least always 2 where we are.
Yeah.
Most of the time, all 5.
They're all needy.
Yes,
they're all with us. They're all on top of the table.
Yep. Yeah, there is no stopping it. We get our pieces lost, knocked over.
Yeah.
All the time. Actually, funny story. So, what was it? Photosynthesis. The game Photosynthesis. We have their seeds. The little seed cards are in little baggies.
Right.
We forgot to put one of those little baggies away one time in the middle of the night. Full on sleep. I feel something drop on my leg, and one of my cats brought me the little baggie of
the photosynthesis tokens.
Yep. Yeah, so we are not only raising board game cats, but they remind us if we forget to put things away.
Yeah. I mean, luckily we got this board game table, so this top actually lifts off, and we can have games under, like games that take a long time, and maybe we can't finish them in one sitting. So it's nice to lay them out and then put the topper over it so the cats can't mess with it, but there's no, like, we can't leave a game and go do something and come back to it. It'll just be shredded.
Yeah, it's either leave the game tucked in the table,
or put it away.
Or put it away, yeah. The table, what would you say, like 2 inches it goes down?
Yeah, 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really helpful with cats.
Yeah, it is. So this was our first YouTube video. So we just want to know if you guys enjoy this kind of content. Do you guys like hearing the questions that you've asked us? Do you want to see game reviews next? What kind of games do you guys want to see? What kind of content do you guys want to watch from us? Because we're doing a lot more longer form content here on YouTube. So we want to know what you guys want to see. Please feel free to comment, reach out.
Yeah, and along with letting us know what you guys like, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, and it really helps us out. We're excited to get started on YouTube. We definitely want to keep creating here. And thank you so much for those of you who stuck through the whole video. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you guys are all about 2-player games just like we are,
you know what to do.
Follow Games for 2.